What's up guys, Jivin back with another video. A lot of you have been asking for a return of the retake tutorials. So today I'm going to be breaking down a few of my favorite retakes. These retakes are really good because they're super protected and they give you a lot of piece control opportunities. Learning retakes is crucial to getting better at the game in my opinion. It helps you increase edit speed, master movement, and just get better at building in general. So if you haven't taught yourself a lot of retakes, I definitely recommend it. Please consider using code JivinTV if this video helps you out, but let's hop into it. First thing I'm showing here is just how to do high walls. This is going to be crucial for this video, so if you don't know how to do a high wall, just try to mimic my movement here. Throughout this whole video, I'm just going to be showing it at full speed and then half speed. When learning retakes, the best way to do it is just follow along. Watch a certain part of a video over and over again and just try to do it alongside it. It takes a lot of time and dedication, but the end product is so worth it. So after you learn how to do the high wall, I recommend trying this out, doing a high wall but adding the little walls on top of the cone before doing the side jump. This simply adds an extra layer of protection when you're doing a high wall jump. So next up, I'm showing you a misdirection into a high wall jump. The way you do the misdirection part of this is just edit the cone and then place a floor beneath you and then a ramp out the side. This move is really nice because it helps you change directions quick in a build fight and it makes you hard to track. A lot of times after you do these high walls, you can just edit through the high wall, maybe make a window edit, and then place a cone over your opponent if they're right there. The high wall move in each of these retakes gives you a ton of piece control opportunities. So as you saw, the next step to make this move more protected is just add these extra back walls. It's hard to do when you go out the left side, but if you do this at full speed, if you just whip your mouse and build some walls behind you, it gets a little bit easier. So this is the beginner version to one of my favorite retakes. I wouldn't necessarily call it easy, but it's easier than the other version I'm going to show you. Like I mentioned, just pick one retake at a time, stick with it until you can do it full speed every single time, and then try to learn another one. I use these retakes all the time in my build fights, and people say I'm one of the hardest people to track and get shots on and angles on during a build fight. And it's because of my retakes. So it's the same thing out the other side, and then I'll show you the advanced version. As you can see, the advanced version just has an extra wall placed above the cone. You edit the floor underneath the cone and place a wall above to add an extra layer of protection. The first step of this next retake is pretty easy. This is one of the first retakes I learned. The advanced version is really good for piece control, and it gives you so many different directions to go during a fight. Here's the advanced version. Basically, you start the same, but you flip the ramp that's above you, and you have to catch it with a wall. And then what makes this retake so good is that I place these high walls after with a cone on top. This makes it so you can edit through, go out one of the other walls, place a ramp and go out the top. It gives you a lot of options, and if you're going to do it out the other side, you can't flip the ramp because it's really awkward. So this is what I do instead, which also works really well and sets you up just as good. As you can see, after I do the retakes, I always do this high wall side jump. That's a good habit to get into because that can give you extra elevation, and if they're still above you, give you an opportunity to piece control. So here's two other misdirections that I do a lot in build fights. If I feel like I need to get in a different position in a fight, I'll whip out these moves, and a lot of times it gives me an opportunity to piece control. Next up, we have another move that I use all the time. This one requires really fast editing, but if you can get this down, it'll help you improve your editing speed so much. It's really good practice. Like I said, any complicated retake that looks really hard is going to help you in some way if you can master it. So here's version 2 of this retake, and then I have a third version after that. They're all really good. I whip them all out in build fights a lot. Here's the final version of it, the most complicated one. It's really similar to the last retake we learned. A lot of them have overlap. So if you learn one retake, the other ones are going to get easier and easier to learn. Once you learn one really hard retake, the rest become easier to learn. As you saw at the end of the retake, I did one of the misdirections that I just showed. This is just an example of how you can add the misdirections at any point in a build fight. Say you finish one retake and you need to do a misdirection so that you get extra room and some distance away from your opponent, you can whip out one of the misdirections. So those are the main retakes I wanted to show in this video. They all work really well in build fights, but you need to get them down. You need to be able to hit them all the time in creative by yourself. And then once you get to that point, just start trying to slowly add it into your build fights. I'm going to show some in-game examples of me using these retakes, some from 1v1, some from Arena. This will help you to show kind of the situations that they're good in. I can't stress it enough, retakes are so important to learn. They're honestly slept on by so many people in the community. People think, oh, retakes are just for creative warriors, but that's not true at all. It helps you really elevate your skill. So pick out a retake in this video, try to learn it, and it might be really hard, but stick with it until you can get it down, and then the others will just become so much more easy to learn, and you'll become such a good build fighter. Hopefully this video helps you out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and enjoy these last clips. Bye!